The time has officially come. I have to admit it. I wasn't sold on Bo Nix. I didn't think he had the arm strength to be a legit fantasy football option or a legit NFL quarterback for that matter, but he has absolutely proved me wrong. This season, Bo Nix, quarterback 7 in overall points on the year, quarterback 4 since week 5. He has been really, really good with Sean Payton, and especially when you consider that this wasn't an offense that was necessarily built for him to be crazy successful in year one. Really, only one true legitimate receiver in this offense, and that's Cortland Sutton. A running game that is just kind of a hot hand approach at this point, and an offensive line that I wouldn't consider an above average one. So when you look at all of these things, he really has impressed so far through 11 weeks this season. And it's time for me to honestly admit I got this one wrong. Jahmyr Gibbs, I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs is getting nearly enough credit for what he's been doing this season. Yes, we love the big games, and he can do that. He has a 30-point game this season. But the big thing with Gibbs, he's averaging over 18 points per game, which is fantastic at the running back spot, but maybe even more so. Not a single game, not a single game below 12 points all year, which is really, really difficult to do, especially when you're in an offense where you share the backfield with another guy like David Montgomery. And that guy is a player that tends to take a lot of the goal line work. So when you have somebody else taking up all those valuable touches and you're still able to produce week in, week out, put up good numbers, help your fantasy team towards victory, man, it's hard to say that there is a running back in Dynasty that's much more valuable than Jahmyr Gibbs is right now. If you've been aboard the T. Higgins train, it has been absolutely maddening this year. Of the 11 games, he's already missed 5 of those 11 games this season. So you never really know when he's going to be ready and able to go and be able to put in your lineup. But when he has been, he's actually been really good, averaging 18.5 points per game. So the injuries, the missed time, it hasn't slowed him down. And it hasn't slowed down Joe Burrow from targeting him either. He's been targeting him at a really high rate when he's been in the game. Lots of good quality touches. He's been finding the end zone even. What you've been getting out of T. Higgins has been absolutely legit. I think he is a really good player to consider going out and just trying to figure out what the price tag is, because either A, he's back in Cincinnati this year, which it would be great in 2025. But if not, he's the number one wide receiver on some other offense. So he's still getting a good amount of targets. He's still having the opportunity to make some big plays. So I think either way, T. Higgins is good rest of season if he can stay healthy. Yes, it's been maddening. If he can stay healthy, if he can stay on the field, then he's in great shape. But even beyond this year, I'm in on T. Higgins. Is this the JSN breakout we've been waiting for? And honestly, I wasn't sure it was going to come this year. I thought maybe at this point we might still have to wait one more year with Tyler Lockett here and DK having as good of a season as he's been having. But with this missed time, I think it added to just the possibility of him kind of moving up in the pecking order. But now, even with DK back, huge game this past week. 11 targets led the team, 10 receptions led the team, 110 yards led the team in a big game against San Francisco. This wasn't just a throwaway game. This was a big game against a division opponent that is honestly expected to be one of the best teams in the NFC. So when he's able to put those kind of numbers up, he's able to do those types of things against this opponent. Now you're starting to question, hey, maybe the breakout really is finally here. Maybe these 20-point, 30-point games aren't just a fluke, and maybe he's finally becoming the player that we all thought he could be after he came out of Ohio State. Whoa, Brock Bowers. Whoa, man, talk about a game this week. 31.3 PPR points. Just a monster afternoon for the young tight end. But first of all, it's the most receptions that a rookie tight end has ever had in a single game. But when you look at what he is doing this season, we are now approaching, is this like drafting, like Rich and Matt said, is this like drafting Travis Kelce? Do we know that he's going to be one of the top tight ends for the next decade, where we're putting up tight end 1 overall, tight end 2 overall type seasons each and every season? Brock Bowers, 6 straight double-digit games. So it's not just the high-end games that he's giving you, but he's also giving you the consistent weekly value that you're hoping out of the tight end position. So Brock Bowers, yes, he's a rookie, but he is the number 1 option in that offense, putting up big games. And is there a good chance that we see another wide receiver added to this team? Absolutely. This wide receiver core is just not good enough. So, yeah, there'll be more competition, but to me, it doesn't matter. I still think Brock Bowers is going to continue to be an elite tight end for your dynasty fantasy football teams.